Ashley, good to see you.
So good to see you.
It feels like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I know you. It's a weird dynamic I have in my mind with you.
Right.
Because we don't see each other that often. But I feel like when we see each other, it's so comfortable almost immediately.
Yeah.
Because I think we knew each other way early on in my time here.
Yeah, right.
And so that feels like we have a long-term friendship where we don't ever see each other.
Yeah. And texts here and there, like always, like I sent you my stuff or see you in Vegas when I was coming home from Miranda's show.
Yeah, it never feels like, it just feels like if we don't see each other for a long time, which is often the case, that it's just normal immediately and we don't have to do all that like, oh God, hey.
Yeah. We don't ask, how have you been?
You know what? We sure didn't do that, did we? I was like, what's up? Your hair's cool.
I mean, that's all. What's in front of us.
Yeah.
That's how we should be, right?
Your boots are cool in your promo picture, though. I was looking at that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have, are those yours?
I got those. I've been on this kick where I am just hunting down like the best vintage pieces I can find. I mean, I just can't get enough. I mean, some would call it a problem, but you know what I mean? I love like the soul of clothes, and so I get these things in my head, which I had those boots in my head.
Yeah, those are they're
vintage from the 60s, never been worn, exactly my size.
Never been worn?
Nope.
For those that are listening and not watching, they are like red, white, and blue stars going up and kind of wrapping around, but they're basically knee-high boots.
Yeah, yeah.
They haven't been worn at all?
No, not one scratch on the bottom, no. It's like they're made for me.
Where did you find them?
On Etsy.
Oh, yeah? Do you do eBay at all?
No, I don't ever do eBay.
I never did eBay. And I came into a lot of memorabilia, sports memorabilia.
Yeah.
And so I had too much.
Oh, yeah.
And by came into, I mean, I bought it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to sell some of it back.
Right.
Because it was just like fun for me to acquire it.
Right.
So I got a part of the eBay culture, but never used it either, right? It's been around for 20 years or whatever.
Right.
Never have used eBay. But now I get on eBay and I just type in a keyword and then I click ending soon. And I buy stuff. I buy stuff I don't even need, but just because it's like at a lower price than it should be.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's a problem because I don't need it to steal, but I try to get the steal.
Yeah. Well, because you're thinking you can resell it.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we think that.
Then they
say that.
The eBay premium, or I just like it and keep it.
Yeah.
When I never had the plan to do that.
Yeah, I get it. My husband has a signed helmet from every team.
That's cool.
In the NFL, but guess where they're at? In the attic. Because where do you put that?
Yeah, well, nowhere my wife would let me. That's why.
Right, that's why they're exactly.
Here.
You all would put them around, but they're not as cute.
It'd be in the living room. If it were up to me decorating the house, I would have posters and helmets.
Yeah, so would John, for sure.
He a big sports guy, just in general?
Oh my gosh, he loves sports. You know, he used to play baseball. He used to pitch for the White Sox for 10 years. And he loves sports like I love music. And it's funny how different our brains are. Well, really, that's the end of the sentence. It's funny how different our brains are.
You guys been married for how long now?
2013. What year? Is that almost 11 years?
Yeah. And he's not pitched in 10 years?
No, he pitched for 10 years.
Got it.
And he hasn't pitched in about 5 years is when he retired.
Does he miss that part of his life?
I think he does. I mean, those are all
you do it your whole life, I'm assuming, too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
From, their time they're this big. And those are their friends. I mean, they're with them all day. They travel with them, the highs and the lows. Yeah, it would be hard.
How'd you guys meet?
Well. We met at Joe's Pub in Chicago. Ed.
Yeah. Were you playing a show?
I was with Miranda. I think that the Annies might have sang that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that happen? What's happening with that? Do you guys do anything? Are you guys ever talk about doing anything again?
Well, I mean, I feel like it's always like out there.
But it's never not happening, but it's never happening.
Right.
It just exists if it wants to exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I was happy I knew you before the Annies, though, to be honest. I always felt cool. When you came around as an Annie, I was like, I already know Ashley, so I don't have to be like, oh my God, this.
Yeah, no starstruckness for
you.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool. You got a new song out, Hot Rod Pipe Dream. It's out now. 4 words. It's a lot of syllables.
I know, it really is. I wrote it with Brendan Benson, who is one of my dearest friends. He's the lead singer of Raconteurs, and he's an old friend of mine, and we just write so well together. And I was like, I want to make something sound like the Beach Boys, but now, like rock and roll.
Raconteurs, was Jack White in Raconteurs for a while?
Oh yeah,
Is he? He's not anymore though.
Yeah, he is. He I mean, they're kind of like the Annies, actually.
Got it.
It just go record, and then where do they go? We don't know. They're still friends. They still hang out.
Sure.
When did they go again?
And they both sing?
Yeah. Yeah, they both sing lead a lot.
Huh. Jack White. You ever met him? You know him?
Oh, yeah, I know him because it was in 2008, he reached out to me because he heard me on WSM in his car. He heard me on the Opry.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to do this thing with the Raconteurs and Ricky Skaggs. So I redid a song with them. Like
That's
a live
cool.
thing. Yeah. So he's been a friend since, and then I've been on the road with the Third Man Band and Wanda Jackson when he produced that record. And,
Wait, I never met him. I've been a fan since. I mean, obviously, I'm a fan if I know he's Raconteur.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But so, obviously, White Stripes, Jack White, solo, Raconteur, any of his projects, I at least check out. Some of them I love, some of them I like.
Right.
But I've never met him in person. Is he really, because I'm pale as crap, but is he really pale in person?
Yeah, he is. Baby.
Like, I respect that, because I don't want to see the sun ever.
Yeah.
I have no interest in the sun.
I'm so opposite, and it's going to...
Yeah, you're extremely tan.
I'm going to have so much work done. That's okay. I have a spray tan, too, though. It's not all sun.
Spray tan will fix it all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm an enemy of the sun.
Yeah, and that's wise, you know.
Don't like it. I feel like,
for you.
And I've never drank. I would like to drink. Seems fun.
Yeah, I don't drink anymore.
Really? But I would like to have drink. Maybe I don't drink anymore, but maybe I would have liked to have had to have drank.
Got you. That makes sense.
I don't know how to relax. So, but what I do know how to do is be addicted to everything.
Yeah.
So I've never drank.
Yeah,
but
that's smart.
Since I haven't drank and I haven't been in the sun a whole lot, I feel pretty good about my chances.
Yeah.
Unless something like a bus hits me, I feel pretty good about my life.
That's really the only thing. Yeah.
Why'd you stop drinking?
Because I just started noticing I didn't like how I acted, what I said, how I felt, what I did. Like everything about it, I started going, I don't like how it tastes, for sure. It's kind of like, what's the point?
So what was the point? Because everybody else was doing it?
No, because it was so much fun
See,
back in the day.
That's what I wanted you to say. That's
so
why
much fun.
Okay, now I want to drink again.
I know, but when you have stuff to lose, the fun's not worth it. That's the thing that shifts in life. It's like, oh, well, that's so dumb, the fight you had when you're drunk, or all those things that when you're young and carefree, it's just like, whatever.
What happens with your mind? Does it ever stop making music? Can you take a break, either psychologically, emotionally, however, and just go, I'm not going to do music for a minute? Or is it always going with something?
It's always going with something. Oh, there is no turning it off. It's like how I breathe. Yeah.
Always a song in your head? Or maybe a melody, either a song that you heard or a melody that you're working on? Is it always something?
That or something I'm longing for. Like I'm listening to something, like looking for a feeling in music that I'm searching out if I'm not writing it.
As in you're chasing, maybe this isn't what you're trying to say, like you're chasing an inspiration, or maybe you're inspired and you're trying to, I don't know. What do you mean by that?
Like, I'll just think, I'll get in the car and go, how do I feel? And then I'll be like, either, like Lil Wayne.
Oh, so you'll play music to identify how you're feeling.
Yeah, but then I'll kind of start searching for something that has a certain feeling in it. Like, I'm always searching for a feeling that's in, it's in, like, Deep River Woman, and it's in a lot of Restless Heart songs. It's in that a lot of Crowded House songs. I don't know if it's a way like the chords go or something, but it's like a mood. That's normally what I'm searching for.
You feel like you're a minor or a major person?
Minor.
I wasn't going to say that. Some people could be insulted by that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm very much a minor, what I enjoy at least.
Yeah, minor.
Do you feel like you're an artist minor?
Yeah, and my initials are AM, A minor. I really think that's so accurate. I have so many songs that start in A minor.
What key do you sing in? If you were to pick your favorite, like where you feel most comfortable?
I kind of can find something in every range.
But like, if there's like, you're going to sing for the King of the World.
King of the World.
And sing your best song.
Probably C.
I can only sing in D.
Really?
That I can't sing, so I do comedy music, write everything in D because I have to, because I can barely get in it, and I have no ability to get out of it.
Yeah, D.
So
it's a good key.
What's the?
You can always drop D it.
It's the easiest key.
Yeah.
Actually.
I normally, when I get a guitar, I'll just play E. That's my first thing I'll hit. But I don't know why.
You ever seen the national anthem?
Oh gosh, I used to at tractor pulls and rodeos and stuff in East Tennessee, but
did you have to do that and that match the pitch, or could you just get it?
I could get it, but it was nerve-wracking. I mean, it was nerve-wracking. I remember I'd have to write the words on Post-its in my hands. My hands were so sweaty and.
Yeah, the problem with that national anthem, and it's a great, and I want everybody to know I love America.
Yes.
Can't get enough America. Love it. Wish there were more Americas. And I will speak for my friends that won't say this because they won't like how it's misinterpreted, and you're not saying this either. But that's a very difficult, not song to sing, although it has its difficulties.
Yeah, right.
But if you do it and you crush it, everybody forgets about it 30 seconds later.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
If you mess it up in any way, it will be put everywhere. And it's almost not worth going out and risking it because all of a sudden you're a terrible American if you mess it up when it was just an honest mistake.
It's just too much pressure and the words are tricky and then you overthink it and then it's over. I mean, some people do it beautifully, though, without seeming to. I mean, Little Big Town just did it at one of the Preds games, and I'm like, they've got it. I mean, Stapleton. I mean,
yeah, and they have it. I would just be nervous about messing it up more than sing it.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Luke got in trouble for writing words on his hand. Luke Bryan, remember that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I worked with Luke for years and years away from like Nashville. We did American Idol together.
Yeah, right.
And so we just hang out because you just be sitting forever.
Yeah.
And we were watching somebody sing national anthem ball game. He was like, man, I don't do that. I can't do that anymore after because he wrote a couple words just so he wouldn't mess up, and he looked down and he got roasted for it.
That's too bad. You get roasted no matter what.
Oh yeah,
out there in this world.
I get roasted every day. Yeah. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Are you healthy?
Yeah. So it's 2024. My last chemo was December 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since I get checked every 3 months. I think now it's going to switch to 6 months.
Was that the recommendation? 3 for a while and then 6?
Yeah, right.
Is it still nerve-wracking every time you get checked?
Yeah, it's like I don't think about it. You know how when things happen, you put them in like the too hard pile of your soul? Well, that one's over there. And, but every time, like the day of my labs and stuff, it's like I put the mask on going to the hospital and like, oh, it's like your body thinks it's going to happen again or something. But yeah, I just truck through, and so far it's been good. When
you were cleared,
mm-hmm.
How do they clear you? Do they say, hey, we checked and you're now free, you're cancer free? What is that?
It was tricky because I went to Vanderbilt, and when I first was diagnosed, I kind of went in a prayer zone and just said, show me what I need to do. And I would kind of start, I don't know, seeing things in my head. And the first thing I saw was the word Vanderbilt, because I just had doctors kind of all over. Like, I think that's normal. So I just got, I got Vanderbilt. I got a concierge doctor who, I could go in and get, fluids or whatever I needed. And I got, all my doctors there. And then I just started really listening to my gut. So bone marrow biopsy is how they found it, which was,
Why do they even do that? Is it because you were not good, like not feeling good?
I was anemic, and they couldn't get to the bottom of why I was so anemic. And so I just, and I tried everything, to not have to do a bone marrow biopsy, but it just kept, it was going kind of fast, And at that point, it's like they worry that your blood will be so thick that you will have a stroke, and I kind of was getting lightheaded and whatever. So I got a bone marrow biopsy, which is just, I hated that so bad. And they want you to get one in the middle of your treatment plan and at the end. But I just told them, I'm not doing that again unless it's going to change the course of our treatment. So it's interesting, and they were fine with it. It's interesting what things, if you really pay attention to your gut, that you can kind of say no to. And, we kind of just do whatever the doctors say. But so at first, they had to do it to diagnose, which I understood. And, they said 6 months of chemo and Rituxan, which is immunotherapy. And it was rough. It was rough, honestly, because I was already so anemic. So then you just get so knocked down.
Just wiped out all the time.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I was just... But I would just come home and go to bed, and just think, okay. And then after 4 days, 3 or 4 days, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go upstairs, I work out, make myself move, But then the first couple months, I was, I had to get, several blood transfusions and stuff because it was like everything was an infection. Everything was just weird. It's just so crazy.
What were you thinking about to get you through that?
There's just those moments in time that's just like pure, like I'm going to put my head down, and it's probably like disassociation in a way, which some people think of it as a bad thing, and I think it's bad if you live in it, but sometimes it's kind of handy.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes it's required.
Yeah, shock is a good thing sometimes.
Which is why it actually happens, right? Like
right.
It is actually a defense.
Right.
Shock is a freaking defense to make sure you don't completely lose your crap.
Yeah.
And when they say, hey, you're good, had you already built back up? I mean, did you feel like you were healthier leading up to it?
Oh, yeah.
Was it a slow incline back to, normalcy is not the word, but back to what you used to feel like?
Yeah, it was, and better. At the end, my red blood levels were in the normal range. Everything was even better so than when I started. So
really?
That was
so
a
you're
cool
even
thing
healthier.
to see. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and platelets, like my overall platelets, at one point they got down to 30. That was at the beginning, and now they're like.
I don't know what that means though. Like I don't know the comparison.
I think normal's like 140 to 300.
And you were at 30?
And I was 30, yeah. And now I'm like, every time I get them, that's like 142, something.
Do you have anything that you use to monitor yourself?
No.
Because if it were like an Oura ring, I'd be obsessed. I had to quit an Oura ring. Obviously, not the same thing. But I wore that stupid thing. I looked at it every 30 seconds.
I have to throw away mine too, my Oura rings or any sort of mood ring. I give it's too much power.
Yep. And I would wake up in the middle of the night to check my sleep, which is the exact opposite.
Stop it, Bobby.
Exactly.
Was it right? Was it?
Yeah, it'd be like, you're not asleep and you need sleep. And I'd be like, yeah, it's a good point. I'm awake checking my Oura ring.
It knows too much.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I get that.
I can't, if I have any opportunity to like over monitor.
Same.
I have to not do it at all. Like I haven't looked at, and things have been the past 3 or 4 years definitely different with like the radio show, not so much the podcast, because I would look at numbers of everything all the time.
Yeah, I get it.
And have 2 modes. I need to look at every number all the time or none.
Nothing. Yep. I 100% understand that. And it's a control thing. I think that people who we don't drink. I mean, there has to be a flare up, and control is a biggie. I mean, it's like, and actually this sickness forced me, I'm still kind of a control freak, but I'm less of one because when you experience something that out of your control, and there was a moment where I just said, take it, fine. I can't control it. And then there was such a good feeling about that.
Really?
So it's good to kind of remind ourselves, but I think the better option to that is not to look at the things or not to eliminate things that are going to.
Yeah, my wife will be like, is your ring charged? Are you wearing it? I'm like, no, I don't charge it.
What ring?
Yeah, exactly. I just don't do it. And I don't look at numbers. Every once in a while, I hit Mike up and be like, hey, give me a month from the past 14 months. But if I do, like I drown in them.
I know, I get it. I don't know. I stay aloof on purpose. I haven't looked at a chart, well, maybe ever. Even when I barely grazed them back in the day, I thought, what's me looking at it going to do anything?
Oh, that's pretty healthy.
That make me nervous wreck and make me not want to do music. Well, that defeats the purpose.
Did you ever have, when you were going through your illness, did you stop focusing on music or did you focus on in a different way? Like, did you use music at all?
No. I went that's the only time, that in pregnancy, that my music button was just like.
Really?
Pause. Yeah, I don't know why.
When did it come? And I'm leading up to asking about this specific project, but when did the music bug kind of get back in your system? I feel like it's always lived there. Like it took a vacation. When did it come back and move back in?
It moved back in when I got healthy.
Yeah.
And it was like, you process these things without even knowing it, that you're taking it in and and I'll just feel like this feeling like go get a guitar, go sit at the piano. I always say it's like an emotional sneeze. It's just like, okay, something needs to happen. And then a lot of times if I'll just push record and just start, whatever it is, if I'll go back and listen, there's words in there that I can sound out. It's really interesting.
You a melody writer or like a lyric writer? In both. I mean,
both.
But which one do you feel like you gravitate toward more instinctually?
It's like I guess melodies, I love to attempt to make a melody that breaks your heart or you feel, you know what I mean? And then words, I have all these notebooks. I mean, I feel like I do both. I just a lot of times I'll get a melody first, I guess, and then I'll go look in my word ideas.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was literally the next question. Like, you ever create like a really cool melody, and then you go back and you find something you wrote 8 months ago?
Yeah.
Or pieces of different things. Like, how does that work creatively?
Yeah, I love to go back. I'll just go in my voice memos and go back to like 2012, and there'll be a nugget on there. I did that the other day on a flight.
Like a melody in a voice memo, but words in a book, or do you leave words in a voice memo too?
No words in the voice memo.
Okay.
I don't trust it. But I found a bunch of old Annie's things, actually, that I put organized in a folder for us of, like, ideas we had on the bus years ago that were good. Just I would have never remembered the melodies. I would have never. So I'm trying to be good about, like, organizing them so they don't just fall off the edge of the world.
It's always cool because there would be things that I would have written or even jokes that it wasn't the right time, and then you go back and you're like, oh man, this was so good. I can still use this. That's always a good feeling.
Yeah.
And it also reminds me I wasn't because I hate old stuff. I always hate the old stuff that I've done, and I feel like that's healthy-ish because I maybe it feels like I'm growing.
Yeah, it's like we don't identify because it's like we can respect what we did back then. Like I'll go back and listen to, gosh, even 5 years ago, and my twang is just so twangy, which everyone's always like, that's a good thing. It's like now I'm like, well, just try to ease up on your eyes and your whatever. But I respect it, but it just sounds like a little old country girl.
That's funny.
I still am. I'm just an older country girl.
I mean, I went to speech pathology for years because being from Arkansas, my accent was super thick.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
And it was the I's, as, or the INGs.
Ing.
And those were the biggest two when they have you say all this stuff. And it'd be like, I just want to go fishing. Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, okay, well, let's work on a few of these things. And it was the I's, that was the biggest one.
Yeah.
And I think if you're from where we're from.
Yeah, it's kind of undoable.
The I's are tough.
I'll take the I if I'll untwang.
And then the INGs. But it's funny that you feel like or people tell you were twangier.
Yeah.
Have you made any, like, purposefully not been as twangy? Like with the new stuff? Or
no, I just try to, if one sneaks out that's just so over the top, I'll be like, oh, I don't try to take all of them out, just the over the top.
Why this record? Like what, I don't know, what's happening here with this record?
What is happening? So I just kind of felt like after the whole ordeal, kind of like a homecoming of the soul sorts. I started hearing these melodies. Some of the songs on the record are actually old, like 2004, or when they were written. It's just songs that have always meant so much to me. But they kind of tell a story. And it's like I just saw this vision in my mind of what I wanted it to look like. It was like being from East Tennessee, I've always had like that Smoky Mountain feeling. It's always been in my soul. And I wanted to come back and just kind of reflect that place and who I am.
Did you write a whole bunch of songs and cut it down? Or did you go, no, these are the songs I want to do. Let's do these songs.
I knew some that I were going to do, and then some are kind of newer. What I did was myself and Gina Johnson, who is an amazing engineer and producer, and I just took the mind out of it. And we went to East Tennessee. We rented this cabin from 1850. Beautiful, that backed up to the Smoky Mountains. And we brought all of this gear, and her and I hauled it up there, and we...
Just you two?
Yeah.
Wow.
And unloaded it. We were pouring the sweat. I mean, it was like, but we set it up, and I started recording. I just like went in a zone without thinking, We went out on the porch, and she would record. We went out, put a quilt in the yard, and she recorded. That's what I like trains, is you can hear all the critters, because it's... But I wanted that. I wanted those textures, like kind of woven throughout this whole scene.
Was she ever like, it's hard to do this because I got to edit the squirrel out. It's only,
no
got to edit half a squirrel out.
No, that's the thing about her is like, it's kind of magical when you take like the thinking part out and just kind of go, let's see what needs to happen, And she knows I like singing in the dark, so she turns all the lights off and lights candles, and I sit there and I don't know. It's really cool as opposed to just going to the studio and being like, okay, I gotta hit that note by 5, you know.
You ever have a song that's really emotional and you cry while singing it?
Yeah, I do. I have a couple of those on this album, actually, where I just, and it always sneaks up. It's like I can feel it right here, and it's like, oh, you know. But I think those moments are cool. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah.
My answer is yes, I agree. It would be difficult for me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have the vulnerability to do that. I've cried on the air
You have?
4, 5, 6, 7 times. Sure.
Yeah.
I never plan on it, and
Right.
it's like it jumps me.
Yeah.
It's like I'm being attacked in an alley. I didn't see it coming.
I know, emotions like that.
But then I also have the power to stop it.
Yeah.
And do it. But and a lot of times I'll choose to stop it. Mm-hmm. Do you just keep going? Will you just keep going, or will you kind of regather?
I mean, I try to stay in it as long as I can keep control of my. I cut the song the other day just because I wanted to. It's an old Loretta and Conway song. Conway actually wrote it. It's called "As Soon as I Hang Up the Phone." But I just said I want to sing it just because I felt it in my soul. But Loretta does this thing at the end where she does cry, and I felt that same emotion at the end. It snuck up on me too, and it's kind of in the thing. But
Did you do both parts?
I know I didn't do any Conway parts. On the recording, he's kind of doing like, he's like on a CB radio, like talking like, I love you, Loretta. Mm-hmm. And she's singing, and he's like, I'm sorry, Loretta. So I just kind of vetoed.
Well, if you need a CB guy, I'm your guy.
Okay, good.
I can lay down a mean CB.
Yeah, all right.
I learned how to play You're the Reason Our Kids Are Ugly.
Oh, yeah.
To me, like that's a funny song.
Right.
And that's what I think of when I think of those two. Because I like funny music.
I do too.
Like, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love them together. I love the idea of like two stars just doing a record.
Happened a lot more back in the day.
I know. I'm rallying up some right now.
Some
people will listen to me. Just like I've always told Waylon Payne, one of my dear friends, I'd love to do that with him. Or you could just any artist you respected. I mean, you can literally just do a record together.
What about the cover songs on this project?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of cover songs songs that I listened to a ton my whole life that have always just been my favorite songs. I thought, there's an old Kentucky Headhunters deep cut that I used to love, and I'm like, let me record that. Nights in White Satin.
Who's Nights in White Satin? Who's
Moody
that?
Blues.
Oh yeah.
And That's No Way to Say Goodbye. That's when I cried while I was singing it. The Leonard Cohen one, that was kind of haunting me. So yeah, they're kind of sprinkled throughout.
Any that you thought you may want to sing and you didn't?
Nope. I have a lot of songs. I mean, I'll probably have to edit down.
Really?
Or not. I mean, really, who cares
at
this point?
You know what? You're right. At this point, who cares?
I don't have anything to lose.
People are putting out 90-song records, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt anything anymore.
Right.
There's infinite space.
Yeah.
It costs money to make music, so I'm not saying that it doesn't cost money to make music. There's infinite space on the music you put out now.
Right.
Where it wasn't the case because there's only so much room on a CD.
Right.
Or tape. Did you ever have tapes? Was that a little before you?
I have a tape that was a homemade, like, hometown tape with, like, cover of Yodeling Blues and, all the Leanne Rhymes songs.
But you never bought a tape? Just generally, you didn't go to the store and buy
I bought
tapes.
tapes. Oh, yeah.
You did have tapes.
Yeah, the Walmart, singles.
Yes.
And it was like TLC would have them on one side and then the karaoke version on the other side.
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
Tapes.
I remember the singles, but it'd be like Vanilla Ice, and then on the back side it'd be Ice Ice Baby, but then like play that funky music, White Boy in the back. So it'd be like one side plus another one.
Yeah.
One time I had a Vanilla Ice front side, MC Hammer back side.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, tell me I wasn't living then.
I didn't even know they made it.
That was legit.
2 artist-sided tapes.
I have vinyl now. I missed records. That was before me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
I had tapes. Mm-hmm. Never had 8 tracks.
No, Daddy had an 8-track in the garage, like when he washed the car.
Do you remember your first CD you ever had?
My first CD was my first CD
that you bought.
I know my first tape was Amy Grant. My first, I went to Kmart and got, what was my first CD? I don't remember. Probably Leanne Rhymes, honestly. I'm sure it was Leanne Rhymes. You Light Up My Life or something.
You ever meet her?
I've talked to her on Instagram. I feel like I might have met her briefly once before, but I want to meet her longer.
But never spent any quality time with her?
No.
I haven't either. But she was gone by the time I got here.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know if you guys ever crossed, I moved here in 2013.
Yeah.
And she was not here at all. She came in the studio one time, not even as a guest. She just walked in the room once, went, "What up, everybody?" And then left. And I was like, "Who was that?" And they were like, "That was Leanne Rimes." And I was like, "Huh.
Wow.
That's weird." Not in a bad way, but she just popped in, yelled hi, and walked out.
She's very mysterious then. I like it. She's hiding from us.
What's touring like?
Touring. Well, I'm not touring really right now. I'm going to tour with Little Big Town.
Have you played any shows, though? I know you're doing the UK stuff with Little Big Town.
Yeah, UK, Little Big Town. I've played a show here in Nashville.
So I guess my question is, how did it feel to do live music again?
It feels so great.
Okay.
You know, I love singing so much, and I don't really sing at home. My son doesn't really like it, and my husband might, but he doesn't say anything about it. Home is not where I sing. I sing hidden in my room at home. So it feels good to sing out for people.
That's like telling a painter they can have paintbrushes in the house.
Well,
what's happening here?
You'll have to talk to my
Hey, Da Vinci,
fans,
no paintbrushes for you.
I know, right? Yeah.
How old's your kid now?
He is 6. He'll be 7 in July. Right. Yeah.
That feels like yesterday.
I know, it really does. It's so sweet. And I'm so funny. It's like I have my creative side. I don't really some people are really good at taking their kids on tour or something, but I'm like, I do better if I can go focus on that, the work thing, and then come home, and then I'm in mom mode.
Separate them?
Yeah.
Do you listen to his kids' music?
No, I don't. He doesn't really care about kid music. He's always liked real music.
What about kids' TV shows?
Oh yeah.
Like Bluebird. What's his name? Bluey.
Blippy.
Blippy and Bluey are two different.
Blippy and Bluey, yeah, two different ones, yeah. And both of those, yeah.
You've watched that. Would you ever do a kids record? Were you ever inspired to do a kids record? Because kids music sucked?
Yeah, there's probably a way you can make it lullaby-y, I guess.
Oh, you're talking about young kids.
Or just Tom T. Hall put out that kids record that was really cool. So it can be done. I've not really thought about it, though. But
your son, is he more music or sports?
He hums all the time. I noticed that. But then he kind of throws ball with John, too. So I can't really tell yet. Can't tell.
2 careers that I would be like, oh, you definitely don't want to. I would never want my kid to get into any sort of art.
Yeah.
Although it's awesome.
Yeah.
But as you know, everybody wants to do art. So it's really hard to do. And there's it's a very difficult place to make yourself. It's a very vulnerable place you have to be. I'm creating something, and I need you to tell me if you like it or not. Yeah. And my whole worth, at least professionally, is going to be based on if you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And then make a living at it.
Yeah.
At that.
I would rather you go just dig a hole, make some money doing that.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know.
Your husband, how tall is he?
My husband is 6'1", I guess, maybe 6'2", 6'1". Mm-hmm.
How tall are you?
5'6".
Okay, those are both pretty average then.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about your son and what the awesome mix of genes he's got. Unless he is can't play sports because he's so into music, but then he's tone deaf at the same time.
Yeah.
He gets the worst into both.
I have been sneaking in some I'll be match this. And he'll instantly find it.
I don't think I can do that. Do it to me.
Yeah, my mom can't do it.
Do it to me. Hold on. Do it again. Oh my God.
Ooh, I heard it.
That.
You landed all right on it. You did a soft.
So I did not start there though, right?
You swooped.
Give me one more. Give me one more. Is that the same one?
Oh, you want me to do a different? Oh, I thought you said
the
same one. You want lower?
I don't know. It's
like a harmony.
But I wasn't trying to do the harmony is the thing. Do that one more time. Oh, I thought you did the first one. All right,
oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. 100%.
That's hard.
I know.
That's why I can only I can only sing in one key, and
D.
that's it. That's the only, and I only kind of can.
You matched that last one. I hate to tell you, though.
Okay, so
right on.
The album, the whole the song is out. The Hot Rod Pipe Dream. The whole album's next year. The whole thing comes out next year, right? Is it tentative time, or like you guys have a plan already?
Maybe like January, February. I put out like I Like Trains, which is an old Fred Eaglesmith song that I've always loved. And then I put out Risen Road, which is another one I wrote with Brendan Benson and Waylon Payne. I wrote it in 2015 and always loved it. So I'm just kind of putting out one at a time, and I don't really know.
I took Carter Faith out on the road with me for some shows.
Oh, yes. I love her so much.
Like, she's got a real bite. I like it.
Yeah, she does.
And you don't really, if you just look at her, maybe you don't see the bite.
Yeah.
But man, when you hang out in the best way, like you hang out with her, like you learn about her, you talk to her, you hear her music, like there's something.
I agree. We have written so many songs. I just can't wait for her to release them. Actually, she's got a few on my record too.
Really?
Carter, yeah.
What about her do you like?
I mean, she kind of feels like a sister or something to me. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, she's enough hippie. She's enough like Appalachian, like angel vibes, but got an edge. I don't know. We write so well together. I bet we've written 50 songs, like really good ones. And so, I don't know. I just feel like those young ones that really like speak to my heart. I just like want to not help them, but like be kind of help them and kind of give them any advice they want or write with them or.
Who did that for you?
Oh gosh.
Who comes to mind? Who's the first picture?
I mean, the first person I thought of was Karen. Yeah, just like somebody that's from
Fairchild.
The beginning. Yeah, Fairchild. Yeah. Just like always been there, always But there's also more. I mean, I remember when I was pregnant, I was gaining so much weight. Oh my gosh. And it was a new thing. And I would text Jennifer Nettles, does your body go back? I don't feel it, or I would text Karen, or I would text, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like there's a lot of them in country music. Miranda always, but that's always like my sister.
Yeah, not as motherly, more.
No, more tough love, I guess.
Someone else. I had Lauren Watkins come out and play with us.
Yes.
At the Ryman, and in a different way, Lauren's like really nice, but also does not give a F.
Yeah, right.
It's like the best mix.
Yeah, I love it's confidence too. It's like confidence on what they want to say, a very clear vision. They're not going to let anybody tell them what they want to say or what they want to sound like, and I respect that.
I feel too that now because there are definitely some drawbacks to social media creating artists, but I think one of the positives of it is a lot of artists are who they are before an entity gets a hold of them.
Yeah.
And it's harder to change somebody once they already have established who they are.
Right.
Where 10 years ago, you go, we're going to sign you. We're going to modify some things and tilt you and have you do this. Yeah. And you'd be like, all right. But now I think one of the positives is you can kind of create your identity.
Yeah.
And if they want you, they sign you. They really can't change a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that people who have benefited from that, I think Lauren's a big beneficiary of that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Lauren, that is who she is. I mean, Lauren Watkins is, and I love her too. I have, 2 songs on her new record. I Pretend You're Coming Home and Gatlinburg we co-wrote. But yeah, I mean, that's who she is. That's how she dresses. That's what she sounds like. She's got amazing ideas. She's a great songwriter. Confident in how she wants them to sound. I mean, yeah, it's less work for labels, I guess.
What about Miranda? Are you guys working together, writing at all?
We write kind of anytime she's home and in the writing zone, we write. We wrote with Stephen Wilson Jr. Was that January, I guess, was the last time we wrote. But we always have a, text thread of a shared note. We have like Miranda and Ash ideas, Annie's ideas, and they collaborate. So it's like we're always.
Would you guys ever do a duet record together? That'd be fun.
Miranda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or would that be like the Annies, but
without Ange? Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know. Angelina and I were talking once about because we've written with Guy Clark a lot. He's one of our, one of the best writers ever. Like if we did a record of the songs that we'd written with Guy, So I don't think there are any rules when you support the person.
Yeah, and again, far less rules now that there's an infinite amount of space to put music.
Yeah, right.
Not make music, that still costs money.
Yeah, right.
But you can put out as many songs as you want.
Yeah.
Has your philosophy, strategy at all changed about putting music out? Because it used to be only do this here, do that there. Or is it now just if you got it and it feels good, let's go?
Yeah, I mean, I like to have a little bit of a game plan, but there's really no predicting what's going to... I mean, also thanks for playing Risen Road on your show, and Amy played on hers. I mean, that's a big deal to me. I don't have a label right now. I'm funding all this myself, which is fine. I like that, but, you know, you can't really predict what's going to stick and what's going to not. You can have a plan of, like, whatever. But, yeah, I like the blind faith. If it feels right and the team that you have agrees, let's just see what happens.
Do you remember your first time to Nashville when you were a kid?
My first time in Nashville was I sang at a Tennessee Fairest of the Fair competition. I wasn't in it. I was the entertainment.
Well, you came here to sing for the first time? So you actually came to Nashville to sing?
Yeah, that was the only time my dad came to Nashville with us.
How old?
He was alive. I was 10 or 11, I think. And so then that was that. And then after that, my dad died when I was 13. My mom and I started coming here soon after that. We would rent, like, limos.
When you got here?
Yeah. And, like, party, really, looking back. But also she was trying to get me discovered, which we'd go to Broadway. That was when Broadway was just
shady.
Way different.
Was it tough? Was it
It wasn't shady. It was just not, I guess it was just chill, I guess.
It wasn't as touristy.
Yeah.
There wasn't an Apple store, you're saying.
Right.
There wasn't an Apple store on Broadway.
I know. And I would just go in and be like, I would just walk up to the band and go, do you know When Will I Be Loved? Key of E, Rocky Top, key of C. And they'd be like, can you sing? I'd be like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I don't think that anybody would even, like, let anybody up now. It's so...
But you were a kid, though, doing that, right?
Yeah, I was like 14 when I started doing that, yeah.
Did you ever have to do that here? Like, play at a bar for a while?
No, not for long. I just kind of, I was just laughing because I don't know how good I would be. I love slow songs so much. I don't think I could rock for 3 hours. That's hard. Those people that go down there and sing for 3 hours. But I would get up and just do, like, Rocky Top, Key of C at Tootsie's. And actually that's how somebody ended up hearing me and word started getting around randomly.
Because you would sing Rocky Top and Key of C?
Yeah.
What kind of kid were you at 14, 15?
When I was mature, I had lost my dad. My mom had went a little wild. So I was trying to, like, wrangle a little bit. And I told my mom if she moved to Nashville from Knoxville, that we'd figure it out. I'd make it. And so I was kind of a little hustler looking back. I mean, I was like, I will figure out a way.
Does that make you proud of yourself?
Yeah, it really does, especially now that I have a child and you look back at how young, when you go through these traumas, it's kind of like, wow, I wouldn't think I could or would be brave enough to even go ask somebody, hey, can I sing? Like, I would be too embarrassed or nervous or whatever, even now. So,
what would you tell that 14-year-old if you? I do this kind of crap in therapy. I have to do it all the time. It's hard. But what, like, that artist 14-year-old?
Yeah, I mean, I would say your dreams come true. I found a letter. Well, it was a prayer. It was a few years back, and I had written it on a piece of notebook paper, and it fell down from my mom's one of her closets a few years back, and we had moved so many times since I'd written this prayer. It was in 2002. So I was 14, and it was before I moved to Nashville. And it says, Dear Lord, you have blessed me in every way possible. Your mighty hand has guided me everywhere I've ever been and everywhere I'm going. Please, I want to do this. I have it on my phone, but it's saying, I love music more than anything. I know you're the only one that can give me the chance. I promise I'll let your light shine through every note I sing because you live inside of me. How could it not? I mean, just for a 14-year-old. And at that point, my mom was gone, actually. My mom had kind of ran off for a while. So when I wrote that letter, I was 14. I'd lost my dad. I was living with my brother, who was 18. Anyway, I don't even remember writing that letter, but when I read it now, I tear up every time because I thought, oh my gosh, my dreams have come true. This is all I ever wanted to do. And, you can get hung up on, oh yeah, but, if you're not selling out a stadium, it's not success. But all I ever wanted to do was be on the Opry. And I also get to have songwriting and so many more parts of that dream that I didn't even kind of foresee at that age. So it's funny how when you look back, I'm so glad I have that because it reminds me that that's a prayer answered, like hardcore.
And you still have it? You saved it?
Yeah, I still have the
That's
letter.
cool. The new single is out now, Hot Rod Pipe Dream.
Yeah.
And the new album, beginning of the year-ish.
Yeah.
When it comes out, let me know. We'll do something again.
Okay, cool.
That'd be cool. I'll play it again.
Awesome.
I'll play it on whatever platforms we have.
You're the best.
And going out with Little Big Town in September to the UK.
To the UK, yeah.
What are those shows like?
Well, I don't know yet.
Like UK shows in general. Like you've played overseas.
I love, UK shows in
Yeah.
general. Oh my gosh, I love it over there. They just get me. I can just do acoustic things. I think I'm just going to have them maybe put a piano out from Little Big Town set. I'll play guitar, maybe play a couple on piano, and I just don't have to worry about them not listening. They're really respectful. Yeah.
Like grateful, respectful.
Oh yeah, and they seem to know every word to everything. Even like I don't really have hits per se, but they make you feel like you do, I guess.
What's your instrument of choice to write on?
I switch it up. I mean, I like piano recently. I used to play classical piano, and I can find different configurations that way. I do carry around a classical guitar because I think that always makes it sound more
What's that?
like nylon string.
Got it.
Yeah, makes it sound more like romantic, Willie-ish. I get kind of bored with the acoustic guitar sometimes, just like, oh, I've already played a G. Just sounds like. So I kind of am into writing on different instruments.
Just a couple more, but I'm just curious about, because you were singing, but when did you start playing music? Where did that come from? Who said, here's an instrument? Who kind of allowed that?
That was always me. I felt it so early on in my soul. And
Mom or dad didn't play music?
my dad played secretly. He was an electrician. That was his work. And he would practice piano, but he didn't want anybody to listen. And he could play by ear. And then my papa, my dad's dad, his first cousin is Carl Smith, who's in the Country Music Hall of Fame, Carlene Carter's dad. And I'm from Maynardville, Tennessee, so there's like some Roy Acuff. Maynardville people, there's been a lot of Chet Atkins. So I feel like it's kind of in my blood, for sure, through Carl Smith, on my dad's side. But I don't know, I just always knew it. I always felt it so deep, and it's the only job I've ever had. I mean, I worked at the Smoky Mountain Barn Theater when I was like 10 and 11. That was my only paycheck.
What would you do there? Just sing? Just perform?
Yeah, singing, clog, yodel.
And clog?
Yeah.
Where did you learn to clog?
I took clogging lessons.
From somebody in your town?
Mm-hmm.
Was that part of okay, since you do music, you also have to clog? Or were you you see somebody clogging on the side of the road and you're like, I got to do that?
I don't know. I think I just saw it and said, yes, that's...
My wife clogged.
She does? Oh my God, we should do a routine.
And every once in a while, she'll be like, I used to do a routine to this. And she'll start.
Oh my God, it's so much fun.
It does look fun. I'm not going to lie.
And it's
does look
hard,
fun.
honestly.
It does.
A little bit hard.
I can do that about as good as I can match pitch.
You did good. Give yourself credit.
You guys follow Ashley at Ashley Monroe Music on Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. And check out the new song. Get ready for the new music. Go see her when she's touring. It's super good to see you. I'm glad that you feel good. Yeah. You look great.
Thank you.
Your boots are awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you worn them since?
No, but I've looked at them since and thought, where am I going to wear them again?
I do the thing where, I'll buy a nice shirt and I'll continue to give myself reasons. This is not a nice enough thing to wear the shirt to. So then I never wear the shirt.
Well, yeah, because it's so special.
Yeah, I'm like, it's got to be the right thing.
Uh-huh.
And then 2 years goes by and I've never put on the shirt.
I know.
That's what I would do with those boots. They're so cool.
I know. I knew they were going to be in the video, but it has to be a really special thing. I do that with clothes, and then sometimes my clothes max out on memories. I had to toss out a funeral dress not too long ago.
Because of the memory?
You have grand finale on your funeral. That's the saddest you can get, funeral dress. You're out of here. So that's opposite of a funeral dress, though, that feeling.
You guys follow Ashley. Ashley, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Awesome.